Good morning, everyone. Today we will be presenting the results of our dissection of both the rat and the frog. Our presentation hopes to compare the anatomical similarities and differences between the two organisms. Our group consists of me, Tayba,
Mobina Hosseini.
Charlene, Viera.
And Jessica Zavala.
We'll cover the digestive, circulatory, excretory, and reproductive systems and how these systems work together.
Overview of Rattus norvegicus. The rat belongs to the kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, and order Rodentia. These classifications indicate that rats are vertebrates, warm-blooded, and have mammary glands for nursing their young. Rats serve as both primary and secondary consumers. They primarily feed on plants, grains, and fruits, but can also consume insects and small animals. As prey, they provide a food source for foxes, snakes, hawks, and other carnivorous animals. Rats thrive in these environments, including sewers, trash piles, and wilderness areas. They require sunlight, warm temperatures, water, and soil for burrowing. Rats exhibit unique mating behaviors such as hopping, ear wiggling, and specific vocalizations. Their gestation period lasts between 19 to 21 days, and they can breed again shortly after giving birth, leading to rapid population growth.
We will begin by looking at the taxonomic classification of forest grass frog. This amphibian belongs to the kingdom Animalia and is part of the Randy family. It's commonly found in Southern America. They inhabit marshes, flooded farms, and tropical jungles. Frogs play a significant role in food web. Their predators are birds, alligators, and snakes, while their diet consists of worm, insects, and larvae. They reproduce through external fertilization, where eggs are fertilized in water and take 30 to 40 days to hatch.
Frogs, amphibians, and rats mammals share a common ancestor, the tetrapod, which lived about 340 million years ago. Tetrapods were the first four-limbed vertebrates evolving from fish and moving onto land. From this ancestor, amphibians like frogs adapted to both land and water, while mammals like rats evolved traits like their hair and warm-bloodedness. Though they look different, both frogs and rats trace their origins back to their ancient ancestor.
The rat digestive system includes the mouth and esophagus. The mouth has 4 incisors and molars, a tongue, and a palate. The esophagus is a tube-like structure which has smooth muscle for easy transport of food. It also has the stomach, which is a muscular organ lined with mucus and stores food. It also has a pancreas that helps with digestion and regulates blood sugar levels. It has the small intestine and the large intestine and the sphincters. Lastly, it has the liver lobes, the left lobe, right lobe, caudate lobe, and quadrate lobe.
Rat nervous system. The rat's nervous system consists of the central and peripheral nervous systems. The brain processes sensory information and coordinates movements, while the spinal cord transmits motor commands. Rats have 12 cranial nerves, each responsible for essential functions like vision, smell, and chewing. The diagram highlights these nerves and their respective functions. As for spinal nerves, rats have cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral nerves.
This is the rat circulatory system. It has double circulation, pulmonary and systemic. Pulmonary carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs and oxygenated blood to the heart. The systemic delivers oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body and brings back deoxygenated blood to the heart. It has 4 chambers, the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. The main blood vessels are the arteries, veins, and capillaries. The different types of blood is plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets.
Locomotion system of rat. The rat skeletal system consists of axial skeleton comprising of the skull, vertebrae column, and ribcage, which provides support and protects internal organs. The appendicular skeleton includes the limbs and girdles, enabling movement. The label diagram illustrates the different skeletal components and their roles. The rat's muscular system includes skeletal muscles that facilitate movement, cardiac muscles that keep the heart pumping, and smooth muscles that regulate internal processes like digestion.
The rat excretory system consists of the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The kidneys filter blood and produce urine, and the bladder stores urine. The rat reproductive system contains the testes, epididymis, the vas deferens, the prostate, and the penis and scrotum.
Respiratory system of the rat. Rats rely on their lungs for respiration. Air enters through the nasal cavity, moves through the pharynx, larynx, and trachea, and reaches the lungs. Oxygen exchange occurs in the alveoli, while the diaphragm plays a crucial role in breathing. The image on the right shows how each organ contributes to this process. One interesting anatomical feature of rats is the absence of the gallbladder. Instead, their liver constantly secretes bile directly into the small intestine. This is because the rats have a constant diet and digestive process that they do not need to require a gallbladder to regulate bile release.
Rats are part of the phylum Chordata. They belong to the subphylum Vertebrata. Rats share a common ancestor with primates like humans. Amniotes include mammals, reptiles, birds, species that develop within an amniotic sac during embryonic development. In rats, the amniotic sac surrounds and protects the embryo, providing a stable environment for growth. This adaptation allowed early amniotes to reproduce on land rather than relying on water for reproduction. Some rodents, like guinea pigs and capybaras, have short or no visible tails. Tailless mammals include humans, great apes, koalas, and wombats. Natural selection favors rats that protect their offspring because they have higher survival rates, passing on those behaviors to future generations. Rats have a short gestation period, around 21 days, and give birth to 6 to 12 pups per litter. Female rats can become pregnant immediately after giving birth. Their fast reproductive cycle allows them to recover quickly from population losses due to predation or environmental changes.
Next, we'll be going over the frog's anatomy. Here is a label diagram. The frog's digestive system contains multiple different organs that work together to process food. The mouth is designed to capture prey using a sticky tongue and contains small teeth. The esophagus leads food to the stomach. At the stomach, food is digested via chemical and mechanical digestion. The small intestine absorbs nutrients, while the liver, pancreas, and gallbladder assist in digestion by producing enzymes and bile. The spleen, located nearby, is technically part of the immune system. It recycles old cells. The large intestine absorbs excess nutrients, and solid waste is expelled through the cloaca. The liver filters blood, and the sphincter allows waste to be retained until expulsion. The pancreas also aids in chemical digestion. The pyloric sphincter creates separation between the stomach and the small intestine. And the mesentery holds everything together and allows for the spread of nutrients.
The frog's circulatory system consists of a three-chambered heart with 2 atria and 1 ventricle. Blood is pumped through double circulation, which means the heart sends oxygenated and deoxygenated blood through separate pathways. The pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood to the heart, while the arteries transport the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. The blood contains red and white blood cells along with platelets.
The frog's nervous system controls both voluntary and involuntary functions. The brain is divided into different sections, including the olfactory lobes for smell, cerebral hemispheres for memory and intelligence, and the medulla oblongata, which regulates essential body functions like heart rate. The spinal cord and peripheral nervous system send signals throughout the body, aiding in sensory and motor functions.
Frog respiratory system. Frogs can respire both in and out of water. When submerged, oxygen is absorbed through their moist skin via gas diffusion. On land, they breathe through their nostrils and lungs, even though their lungs are not as developed as mammals. The frog's respiratory system includes trachea, larynx, and alveoli, which facilitate gas exchange.
The frog excretory and reproductive system. As mentioned before, kidneys filter the bloodstream while the bladder stores urine before excretion. In females, the reproductive system includes the ovaries, where egg cells develop, and the cloaca, which is a multi-purpose hole for both fertilization and waste. The oviduct transports eggs. Some frog species exhibit unique reproductive adaptations, such as gestation in the stomach or even the vocal sac. Our frog, however, lays eggs.
Frogs have specialized skeletal and muscular systems for movement. Their hind beams and pelvic girdle allow them to jump and swim efficiently. Their forelimbs act as shock absorbers when landing. Frogs can also step, kick, and climb, making them highly adaptable in different environments. Here we see the axial and appendicular skeletons labeled. The cartilage, joints, ligaments, tendons all make up this system, and different muscle types such as skeletal, smooth, and cardiac make a huge role.
Look at interesting findings. During our section, we observed that our frog specimen was likely pregnant as it contained multiple egg deposits. The oviducts were also inflated, indicating it was preparing for egg laying. Additionally, several different fat deposits were found around the body, providing the mother enough nutrients to sustain egg growth. Convergent evolution and tail loss. Both frogs and humans lost tails through convergent evolution, but for different reasons. For frogs, their tail loss increased agility and predator evasion. For humans, tail loss is linked to bipedalism from a genetic mutation. Apody in tetrapods is found in groups like caecilians, adapting to ecological niches. Burrowing and swimming often drives limb loss. Tetrapodia and limb loss. Tetrapods tend to have 4 limbs, but some evolve to be limbless. Limb loss suggests a common ancestor must have had limbs, with some evolving apody. Apody is a derived trait. Ancestors had limbs, but apody developed independently from different lineages. Apody is found in reptiles but not mammals, indicating there's some convergent evolution. Environmental factors also play a key role in adaptation.
Natural selection and egg protection. Natural selection favors traits that enhance reproductive success. Eggs in aquatic habitats face predation risk. Carrying eggs on the mother's back provides protection and increases survival. Long gestation period ensures offspring survival in harsh environment. Internal development prevents embryo predation. Fewer offsprings over time conserve maternal energy and regulate population. Although rats and frogs share some similarities, such as having 4 limbs and a vertebral column, they also have differences. Frogs have webbed feet adapted for swimming, while rats have tails for balance and thermoregulation. Frogs are amphibious, living in both terrestrial and aquatic environments, whereas rats are exclusively terrestrial. Evolutionary studies suggest that frogs and rats shared a common ancestor around 360 million years ago during the Devonian period.
During our comparison analysis, we learned the rat and frog share fundamental vertebrate characteristics, but have evolved unique adaptations reflecting their different environments. Frogs exhibit featured suited to amphibious life, for example, moist skin, external fertilization, jumping and swimming. Meanwhile, rats show terrestrial adaptations such as dry skin, internal fertilization, and quadrupedal movement. Their evolutionary diversity, starting from a common ancestor 340 million years ago, is due to habitat shifts such as aquatic and terrestrial, increased competition, and predator-prey interactions, leading to distinct traits in each lineage.
Thank you for your time.